Alright, welcome back to the Fantasy Football School. Today's class, we're going to talk about 3 running backs. Deep sleeper running backs that are being drafted outside of the top 50 in best ball, dynasty, redraft, that could potentially crack the top 24, potentially be flex worthy early in the season, later in the season, sometime in the season, but these running backs are deep and cheap. And without further ado, let's start with my first one. I got Chuba Hubbard, essentially the RB1 right now for the Panthers, but for some reason he's being drafted like he's the RB3 on a team because they did draft his heir apparent in Jonathan Brooks, who's right now is on the PUP and most likely not going to play early in the season. And even if he does play early in the season, he will not be 100%. And Chuba, who played sparingly well last year, actually pretty well. He still has Miles Sanders, waiting in the wings, who got that big contract last year, but he showed last year that he is better than Miles Sanders. But it's a whole new year, whole new season, things change, and Miles Sanders back in the mix. But with Chuba Hubbard being the starter, I think at least for the first 4 weeks, because I expect Jonathan Brooks to be not hurried. That team is young. They're not going to win the Super Bowl this year, so why not let your young prospect get to 100%? And I expect Brooks to play this season, but not till like week 5. Even if he does play early on, he's not going to get a majority of the carries. So I expect Chuba Hubbard to be flex worthy early in the season. And if he plays well, you can't really bench him, right? Even if Jonathan Brooks is healthy, so if you can have him, in redraft, he's probably gonna be like the last pick of the round of the draft. Dynasty, you can probably get him for a mid-third. Best ball, I've been getting a lot. He's been drafted like 15th round or later. So, anyways, moving on to the next one, we got Khalil Herbert, who's shown the ability to be a legit running back option in the NFL. Every time he had the opportunity to start, he's shown RB1 numbers, whereas RB2 numbers. He's one of the more better running backs in between the tackles. He still has to improve his pass blocking, that's where he lacks, but outside of that, he's a top 24 inside runner in the NFL. Fortunately, Bears did sign DeAndre Swift, but Swift is injury prone, or was injury prone. Last year he showed that he was pretty healthy, so that should not be an issue anymore. But hey, everybody still remembers DeAndre Swift for his 4 years in the league, and he couldn't finish a whole season. But hopefully he stays healthy, and even if he does, Herbert should still have a role in that offense. And if for some reason DeAndre Swift can't finish a season, Herbert's gonna catapult into that potential RB1 production to fringe RB1 to definitely RB2, especially in that offense. And finally, one of my favorite running backs, deep sleeper here, that will have a role early in the season and probably later in the season, but anyways, it's Ray Davis of the Buffalo Bills. So right now he's the backup to James Cook. James Cook is gonna challenge for RB1 production this whole season, the way that offense was set up. Later on, when their OC got fired, they did utilize James Cook more. But the thing with James Cook is he's not a legit inside runner, like a power runner. Definitely has room to improve. He's a little smaller in that department to withstand like 15 plus carries, but he will get 15 plus touches. But the way Latavius Murray was used last year opens the door for Ray Davis to be relevant. He'll probably get 5 plus carries, 1-2 receiving option, but he's such an all-around running back that he can do all that. But right now with James Cooks, I think he's a little injured, so he's getting all the first team reps. Ty Johnson's also injured, so he's getting the majority of the reps. They do have Franco Jr. on the team, but he's unlikely to crack the 53-man roster. If he does, good for him, but he's probably going to be a practice squad player, assuming, you know, everybody's healthy on the top 3. But like I said, Ray Davis is probably the bigger, more compact back in terms of BMI on that team. He's the most talented inside runner on that team, and if, you know, the Bills decide to hopefully preserve Josh Allen's athletic ability, they're probably going to reduce his inside run this season. That's just speculation on me, but hey, he's your franchise quarterback. If for some reason he gets hurt, your season's over. So the less running he does inside the goal line, the less likely he'll get injured. But hey, we'll see how that goes. But I expect Ray Davis to be a main option at the goal line because of his body of work and his BMI compared to James Cook. So if you're looking for any deep sleepers at running back before the season starts, before preseason starts, which is today, look at these 3 running backs to add. Or if you know you need that depth at running back for that late season run, if you're contending, these 3 are good options. I was able to snag Ray Davis a lot in all of my rookie draft, late 3rd. I mean, outside of like the 2nd and 3rd round running backs, and I guess Jalen Wright, my next best option was Ray Davis because he does have a role already in the offense. Some of the sleepers we have, like Kamani Vidal, questionable role. Dylan Lobb, he might have a role as the 3rd down back, but right now the only legit confirmation of a role is Ray Davis. So if you can have him, feel free to just get him while you can. So peace.